2 years ago, Adidas created a new daily trainer and introduces a new PB-based midsole for a smooth and cushioned ride, claiming that it delivers superior comfort. Is this a frugal option for a daily trainer, or should you just consider something else? Let's find out. Good day everyone, this is Jay the Frugal Runner, and today we are going to talk about a comprehensive review of the Supernova Rise. So just to let you know that this is the version 1, and since it is still out on sale, we figured that it is still sensible for us to release a comprehensive review of this version. So this is not quite a new shoe by any means. So the question is the Supernova Rise, in general, regardless of the version, is worth to include in your rotation? Join us today and let's look further into this model. So before we start, I would just like to let you know that I bought this with my own money and I'm not affiliated with any brands. So I just guarantee you that I will be providing you my 100% honest review, as I will just be providing you my brutally honest opinions. Also, I'm not in any way a fast runner, so the paces that I may mention here are for average to slower runners. Let's start off with the episode roadmap. First off, we are going to talk about the quick specs and the parts of the shoe, together with my immediate feedback. Then we are going to talk about a brief rundown of my experiences on this shoe, which includes my experience on my first run, after its break-in period, and after its long time use. And we are going to talk about on who is this shoe for in relation to your running experience and in relation to your running pace. Next is we are going to talk about our final thoughts on its overall performance and its overall ride experience. And lastly, since we are a frugal runner, we are going to talk about its price details and its value for money. First off, for the price. Originally, you can get this at 7,500 Philippine pesos if you are here in the Philippines. That is $140 if you are in the US, and if you are in the UK, that's 130 pounds. Now let's go on to the weight. For the actual shoe, it weighs in at 279 grams for a US size 9. However, on paper or based on their website, it weighs in at 277 grams. So just for context, the version 2 weighs in at 2 grams lighter at 275 grams for the same size. For the running shoe profile, I would say that this is a comfortable daily trainer. It is a neutral shoe with a slight rocker geometry. It sits on the upper mid-tier of the spectrum, which is in line with the previous generations of the Nike Vomero, which focuses on premium comfort and superior cushioning for a daily trainer. For the heel-to-toe drop, we have here a 36mm stack height on the heel and 26 on the forefoot, giving you a 10mm drop. For the sizing, Adidas shoes normally fit a bit larger compared to its Nike counterparts. Normally, I go for a US size 9.5 on a Nike because I just find their shoes or their running shoes to be too narrow for my foot. So I tried to go a half size down on this one at a US size 9. And considering that I went down half a size, I still have a roomy toe box, and I still have a sufficient width for my wide and girthy foot. Now let's go on to the parts. For the upper and reflective elements, we have here a sandwich mesh upper. It is a super soft, fabric-like mesh. It is really comfortable and extremely breathable, and there are no hot spots or any uncomfortable rubbing on your toes. The reflective logo is large enough and it's highly reflective. What I don't like about it is that there are no reflective elements on the front and at the back of the shoe, so when you try to run along or against the traffic, you are not going to be visible. However, for the version 2, this has already been addressed. They have already added some reflective elements on the front and at the back of the shoe, so we are now going to be visible. Also for version 2, they mentioned that they now have a new refined engineered sandwich mesh upper. And upon checking, the material looks thinner and softer. For the toe bumper, it is slightly stiff with a good structure. It offers you good protection. It is well built and it seems like there's a plastic around it and it is not obstructive. It doesn't feel like there's just another ply of fabric or any thick material that's fused to the upper. It gives you enough room so your toes won't rub to the upper as well, minimizing blisters or any dead toenails. Now let's go on to the laces. It is soft, thin, and stretchy. It is flat and it is of moderate length. It feels like it's a fabric that's just stitched at one end. What I like about it is that it locks down good and it doesn't come undone on your long runs and even in your speed sessions. The length may seem to a bit too long, however if you are going to use a runner's loop, the length is just right. What I don't like about it is that it feels kind of cheap and it seems that it's just going to wear down soon, especially on its edges, especially if you're going to use a runner's loop since these laces tend to rub against each other. But so far for mine, it is holding up. For the tongue, we have a thick foam. It is not gusseted but it has a lace loop to keep it in place. What I do like about it is that it is really comfortable, and despite the thickness, there are no hot spots even on very hot days. It also stays in place. And because of the thickness, you won't feel any lace pressure or any lace bites on any part of your foot or on your instep. What I don't like about it is that it's just too thick and it may tend to easily soak up some water when you try to run under the rain or through some water puddles. For the insole, it is thin, flexible, and easily removable. It is really soft and it seems like it's a Dream Strike Plus foam itself or any supercritical foam. It is not glued so you can easily remove it and replace it with your custom orthotics. For the heel collar, it is very well padded. There are no heel flares or any pull tabs on this one. It is really comfortable around the ankle and the heel, and I do not experience any pain or any discomfort at the back of the heel area, which I usually encounter on a Pegasus for 2 versions already. And since there are no heel flares on this one, you just need to exert a little more effort when you try to wear the shoe. Also, for version 2, they mentioned that they now have a premium heel construction. However, when I saw the shoe, it just looks and feels the same. For the heel counter, it has a rigid support around the heel area. The rigidity is not noticeable for me on my runs, however, it's going to be subjective for each and every one of us. It is going to be more than enough to provide support for those who need it, especially if you are going to use this shoe as a casual walk-around shoe or if you are a heel striker when running. For the shoe stiffness, this shoe is flexible. It doesn't have any sort of plates to make it rigid. It gives you good control and ground feel, which makes your foot react and adjust accordingly. Now let's go on to the highlight of this shoe, which is its midsole. This is a new lineup of daily trainers to feature a new PIBA-based midsole that's targeting the mid-tier segment. The highlight goes to the Supernova Rise, as this is their flagship model that features a full length or a full slab of a Dream Strike Plus midsole. It is really soft and it has a support rod system that's composed of a firmer foam. So just to clarify, the Dream Strike Plus foam here is not just this black part on the shoe, but it's the whole midsole except for this green part, which is this support rod system. So what I do like about it is that it is really soft and comfortable on your slow runs. It has the right amount of bounce for slow runs at 7 minute 30 up to a 9 minute 30 per kilometer pace. It also recovers fast when you try to run for a short 5K run in the morning and another short 5 to 8K run in the afternoon or in the evening. What I don't like about it is that it is not that versatile. The best comfort is only good at slow paces. There's a dead zone because it feels flat on a 6 minute 20 up to a 7 minute 30 per kilometer pace. And the performance on its responsiveness just plateaus on a 6 minute 20 per kilometer pace and below or faster. So when you try to run at a faster pace, you won't feel the midsole trying to help you push the pace. It is also not suitable for long runs that's above 16 kilometers or 10 miles. The responsiveness is not that exciting because it's not that poppy or bouncy. And I also don't feel the support rod system on my runs. And in my opinion, the support rod system sounds more like of a gimmick from the brand itself. And I would consider it mainly as a dual density midsole construction, as the support rod system acts as a carrier foam underneath to provide durability and longevity to the midsole. The softness of the support rod system is actually even close to the Dream Strike Plus, especially after breaking it in. So I actually became curious and I tried to visit a physical store to check the support rod system on a brand new version 1. And as expected, the support rods is actually firm when it's totally brand new and in a cooler environment. So we live here in the Philippines and we normally get around 30 to 35 degrees C. So the support rods of this shoe is already soft out of the box. For the outsole, it uses an AdiWear outsole. It is hard wearing and it is grippy on dry pavement, and I would say that it is average on the wet because I was just only able to use this on few occasions on wet surfaces, and I was only able to use this once under the rain. But so far I didn't experience any slippage. Now let's go on to my experiences on this shoe. First off, my experience on my first run. I actually ran at a faster pace at around 5 to 6 minutes per kilometer because I was actually excited, and it actually felt flat and it felt like a brick. So it doesn't mean that if your midsole is soft or plush, then it's also going to be plush on your runs. I was actually surprised on how breathable it is because I immediately felt the air inside the toe box area when I started to run. And I also tried to walk on this after my run, and it really felt comfortable as well. Next, after its break-in period, I was able to break this in after just around 15 to 20 kilometers of mileage. The responsiveness at faster paces are now noticeable. So I tried to use this on progression runs to test out the midsole, and it was consistent to feel flat at a certain pace range. Next is after its long time use. After 115 kilometers of mileage up to the present, the midsole already bottoms out after around 18 to 19 kilometers on my 21K session. It already feels flat and it's no longer responsive due to the foam being compressed. And after 336 plus kilometers of mileage, I started to notice that the midsole starts to fail to recover the day after a 12K run. It feels somewhat firm and it only feels fresh when you try to give it a day of rest after your session. So I tried running on a pace range that's within the dead zone that was previously mentioned earlier. And I noticed that the softness that was only experienced on slower paces like 8 to 9 minutes per kilometer is already there. So I would say that when it comes to softness, this midsole ages gracefully. However, for the responsiveness, it's just the same. And lastly, considering the mileage, I have very minimal outsole wear. Now, who is this shoe for? With regard to running experience, I would say that it is best for beginners who runs at a slow pace, and those who wants to use the shoe casually. It is quite okay for intermediate or experienced runners who greatly varies their paces. However, if your pace range varies greatly, you might experience some dead zones and you might not just appreciate this shoe. And I would not recommend this over to elites or professionals who are expecting more versatility or performance on a daily trainer. If we are going to talk about the running pace, it is best at slow paces that's ranging from 7 minute 30 up to a 9 minute 30 per kilometer pace or up to a relaxed walking pace. It is quite good at faster paces at around 6 minute 20 up to a 4 minute 40 per kilometer pace or faster. The 6 minute 20 up to a 7 minute 30 per kilometer pace is its dead zone because it's not that responsive on those paces. But as the shoe ages, this pace range starts to get comfortable, but the responsiveness is still the same. Now let's go on to our final thoughts on its overall performance. I would say that it is short on being considered above average. It lacks responsiveness and versatility on a daily trainer. It's not a good option if you're going to aim for performance and versatility. It is good for relaxed and recovery runs only, and best for daily runs for slower runners. As for the ride experience, I would say that hands down it offers exceptional comfort. If Adidas is known for their Adizero line for its performance, then they have now streamlined their Supernova line for comfort. It is good to include in your rotation if you are trying to rack up some mileage for the week or for a training block, as it is really going to look after your legs and your knees. So is it actually worth the price? Actually, if you'll ask me, it is not. Because given the price, you might just be better off getting something better. But of course, you can get this at certain discounts. For the current lowest price available, you can get this up to 3,750 Philippine pesos if you are here in the Philippines. That is 50% off from the Adidas website or from the Adidas app. This is because of their Black Friday sale. Unfortunately, you can no longer get this from the Adidas UK or US website, but you can still get this from Amazon US. And just a quick interruption, I am an Amazon affiliate, so I do post some affiliate links below. So I do earn from qualified purchases. So if you would like to support me on this channel, you can go ahead and do so by clicking and purchasing the shoes from the links below. And I have already searched for the lowest deals in Amazon, so you can check the deals for the men's and women's model down in the video description or on the pinned comments down below, and of course that is to save you some time. Now, for the ideal price. For the version 1, the ideal price would sit at around 50% off the original price. If you can get this at 55 to 60% off, then that's going to be a good deal. For the version 2, the ideal price would sit at around 30% off. It is going to be a bang for the buck if you can get this at 40 to 50% off. But since both of them are in sale at 50% off, I would suggest that you go ahead and get the version 2. Now, for my frugal opinion. For an overall shoe standpoint, I would not consider the original price of $140 or 7,500 Philippine pesos, as you only need to add 10 more bucks or 1,000 pesos and you can get yourself an Evo SL. For a specialty shoe standpoint, it is likely the cheapest that you can get out of the top brands. And it does not disappoint because the comfort that it can offer is really promising. If you will use this solely for daily running or use this as an all-in-one shoe when going on trips, then it's totally not worth it. But if you will get this only for the purpose of recovery and easy runs, I would say that it's going to be worth the price only if you are going to get this at a discount. If you find this video helpful and if you want to save up by going for frugal options, consider subscribing to our channel. Like this video too if you find it helpful and share it over to your friends. So until our next episode, this is Jay and you're watching The Frugal Runner.